We're live.
Hey guys, welcome to Waste Not Wednesday. We go live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and we take literal junk that we got for free next to it or out of the garbage, and we turn it into home decor. And today's DIY is brought to you guys by Food Storage.
Tin cans.
We've done a ton of number 10 can projects before. We have planted in them. I've got a huge number 10 can back here that we made almost maybe a year ago. We turned it into a utensil holder, one of my favorite projects ever. And Christmas is coming. We like to DIY Christmas stuff. And I don't have stocking holders. I'm not even really sure how we hung up our stockings last year.
Did we hang stockings up? 9 times out of 10, you fill them up so full that they're just sitting on the couch.
This is a true story, but I think I hung them up a little bit. I'm not positive. Anyways, I scoured the internet trying to find like a DIY stocking holder. What I found was fairly cheesy, or you could just buy them and they're expensive. So I came up with this idea. It is a number 10 can. We've already done some of the work. So there is cement, quick setting cement. You can get a bag for, I think the receipt's right here, $5.50.
Yeah, it's not expensive. And it's a whole, like you could probably do 20 or 30 of these.
Yeah, and you could also buy the less expensive cement that takes longer to set up. But we were in a hurry because in true fashion, I came up with this idea this morning. My father-in-law was here. Yeah. Zeb was feeling a little under the weather, so he helped us out. He put the cement in here, and then he drilled a hole in the can and then put in screws in the can. And so I've got these. You guys have seen me use them before. These are knobs that I picked up in Pennsylvania. I think they were like 50 cents a piece, and they screw on to the can. So that's where the stockings will hang.
Let me show you the setup up close. So he put the screw in before he put the cement in. So just the screw from the back.
And then nuts on each side to hold it in place.
And yep, and then this has a nut right there to kind of retain it. And then he got the right thread pitch so that this knob just screws right on.
And when you buy knobs, a lot of times they have the bolts, but these were bought secondhand for 50 cents a piece. So they didn't come with the screws that fit them.
So there you go.
Let me see.
And we're going to be painting these, putting some molds on these. They should be pretty cool. So.
All right. I'm not sure. I see it says Ivy is on here. So Ivy is going to moderate. And Caitlin's not on here today. She's not feeling good. This is going to be a stocking holder. So we're going to be putting a mold on the front, painting it, and then we'll put the screw on there. And if with any luck, we'll get it done enough that we can show you what it looks like on my mantle. And I checked for scale. The size is right. And because we use cement in here, these suckers are heavy and they can hold a decent sized stocking and candy. So we're going to get going.
All right. What are you just painting these with the gold?
Yeah, so I love the copper. You guys have seen me use it a lot, but I have actual copper candlesticks on my mantle, and I didn't want it to clash, and I love mixed metal. So we're going to be going for like an antique gold look today.
All right, do you want to paint these first? So it looks like it's wet. It's actually starting to set up pretty good. It'll dry in about half hour. We poured them about 20 minutes ago. Well, I say dry. It'll cure up enough that you can use it in about half hour.
Well, I was going to have you put the clay on, then I'm going to paint them white and let that dry, and then the gold.
All right, well, let's start doing some molding then.
Yeah, we're going to get molding. So we're making stocking holders, in case you're just tuning in. I know people are going to be tuning in over the next 30 minutes. So if you see someone comment, hey, what's this? Be like, they're making stocking holders. You'll have to watch the replay to get the idea. But yeah, everybody has soup cans. We actually only had one left over. I couldn't find the other two from dinner last night. So I had to grab 4 more. And I made cobbler. So we've got pear cobbler for dinner. So these were pear cans.
Oh, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, smell it.
It does smell good. I smelled it cooking this morning.
Pears and cinnamon and butter and brown sugar.
All right, so a little bit of cornstarch. This is going to help your clay come out of your mold. We do it pretty much every time when we forget. It takes a lot of the detail out of the mold because if you don't have the cornstarch in there, you got to like peel it back. We've used a couple other things. This cornstarch powder works pretty much the best that we found.
You could still do this without putting the molds on the front. This is just going to make them a little bit fancier. And you don't have to have a specific Christmas mold. We're going to be using cameos and frames, but I think I might even use the lock and key. The new IOD products are not on sale right now, but anything that's not been a new release is actually 20% off at JamieRayVintage.com. today and tomorrow until midnight. And this video, let me put the date on here because people always watch the replay, is November 10th, 2021. So if you're watching it fairly soon after it, then you can catch that sale. If not, you can still shop at Jamie Ray Vintage even without a sale. I just want to let you guys know.
All right, so I got this all nice and powdered up. Bang the excess out so it doesn't mess with your mold, but it's going to help it release so that all of these little details in here, I don't have to like mush it to get it out. I'm doing this one. I hope you like that one.
Yep. Ivy, can you link specifically the frames mold and the cameo mold and the lock and key when you get a chance? We'll throw those on there.
And this is the IOD air dry clay, the Ironwork Designs. It's great stuff. It dries pretty quickly.
This is too big, so
That's too
only
big?
this one.
I think it's fine. I think it can fit right now.
No, I
You
measured.
sure?
I checked ahead of time.
Did
I
you check?
prepped.
All right.
So just sorry. So this one.
I was
or
not
this
here
one?
for the prep. I woke up
Any
late.
of these will fit, like well above the knob, but only this one or that one will fit well. And I want to do a different one on each can. We have nine people. 9 people that live in our house, if you include eight.
8.
And
I
then
was
my
like,
son makes 9. He doesn't actually live here, but he will get a
He's-
stocking. But that was just way too many stockings. So we're just doing 5 of them for the kids, and that's what's going to hang. And then our stockings will probably just sit on the couch.
Yeah, well, we don't have a mantle that's 12 feet long.
We have a petite fireplace.
All right. Okay. Cornstarched up. It's ready. I'm going to put it in here and just kind of mush it. Can you guys see that okay? Yeah, they can.
Let's see. Love pear cobbler.
It's good.
Rashonda was talking. Made one last week and mixed raspberries in it. Ooh, that sounds good. We are like a peach cobbler family, but we didn't have any peaches in our food storage. We did pear, and this is just a dump cobbler. So I do 4 cans of peaches, only one of the heavy syrups, otherwise it's too liquidy. So I strain the other 3 cans, and then I do a white cake mix, and I put cinnamon on the pears, and then I put cinnamon on the cake mix. I sprinkle brown sugar and pecans on the top, 2 sticks of butter, and you bake at 350 for as long as it takes to cook. It depends on the pan. If it's shallow, 45 minutes. This one took well over an hour to cook because it's a little bit deep dish.
All right.
But it's super easy cobbler.
Okay, so I've mushed it on there. I'm just kind of trying to flatten the back out and make sure that I've pushed the clay into all the
You want me
details.
to get a
No, I feel like it drags it too much because when you have the cornstarch in there,
or a braider?
it like moves it around. It's fine. It's
Your
pretty
mush
good.
skills are on point today.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, watch how easy this comes out with the cornstarch in there.
Watch me. Oh, I like it. So eventually this will probably get some decoupaged paper inside the frame. Just not right now. We'll use like the Santa paper or something.
All right, so that one's ready. Are you going to glue that on?
Yeah, you want to pass me the glue?
Yeah.
So if you don't have these molds, you could also use decoupage paper. You could just paint them. You could stencil them. You could put a big fat bow on it. It would also be really, really cute if you did like a ribbon around it and then did a resin mold on the ribbon, almost like a cameo necklace. That would be really pretty.
What if we did this one sideways?
Oh,
It could go sideways.
I feel like you're trying to make it fit. Just use this one.
I don't like
And
it.
then
It's
use
too
this
small.
one.
This one's too big. That one's too small.
This one, it looks like the Goldilocks. You know, these are just right. I tested them out.
All right.
I am feeling better, Shelly. I shared my situation with Zeb,
Yeah, she
but,
gave it to me. Can you believe that?
and I got 2 little boys. Jack, I think, is faking it. Redrick wasn't feeling good last night, but he's been fine this morning. Whatever it is,
Like
it's
last
quick.
like a day.
It's a quick situation. So, all right, I've just got this Gorilla wood glue. I prefer construction adhesive, but this morning Zeb was in bed resting, and so my father-in-law, Lynn, and I had to do all the prep work, and so I just did what I could. I went in there this morning, and I'm like, I can't waste now Wednesday. You can sleep. Because usually it involves a lot of prep on his part. So thank goodness for dads.
Yes.
I probably could have done it all myself, but he was happy to help.
That's all my dad
It's
does.
a pretty
is-
simple project.
That's all my dad does is projects. If you don't keep him busy, he's finding the next flight out of here in about a half hour.
Only he's a
he
driver.
likes to keep busy.
So I'm just gonna put this around the can.
He did sit and watch some baking shows with the kids last night for about 20 minutes.
I'm pretty sure that was painful for him. So see how this is barely fitting on here? That's why you can't use a bigger one. And
Yeah.
it's kind of resting on, oh, the knob's got to fit there. So this got to slide up. I forgot.
Yeah.
So
And you're a little crooked. You want me to straighten that? For
yeah,
you?
sorry.
There's another one.
I don't know. Maybe this one's a little small. I think that
That's
one's
what I
okay.
was trying to say. I was trying to tell you.
All right. I don't want to use this one. Well, this one, you could use this one. So a little bit bigger than that, is it?
No, not really.
All right, this cameo works. This cameo, this cameo.
So this one, to show them that one up close.
You could use the clock.
I could do. Ooh,
that's your favorite.
I will do the clock. I will do the clock.
Okay.
Might have to do some embellishments on the side of it.
Misty said her husband gave her COVID.
Oh.
I gave him not COVID. I tested myself. I stuck that stick way high up my nose and did the home kiss. So there you go. It's strange that there are other things in the world besides that. They're still floating around.
The flu, it's flu season. It's alive and well.
Hold on. We got little boys. Hey, we're live, boys. So y'all need to be quiet. Are you dying?
No, they're arguing over a card game.
I have them separate, even though, because Jack, I'm not sure that he's actually sick. I think he's just home, not sick. And Redrick really isn't feeling good. So Redrick's in the playroom because they share a bedroom and Jack's in their bedroom. Oh, I'm just glad that I can work from bed. So Monday, I just did a bunch of phone work because I'd lose my mind. I was so bored. I couldn't really get out of bed, but I also couldn't lay there all day either.
She's like, Zep, are you going to come be sick with me in here? I'm like, no, I'm not.
You know what, though? He made dinner. He made shepherd's pie on Monday, and he tidied up the house. He didn't make it to laundry, which I was a little sad about.
All right.
All right, I'll glue that one up for you.
Can you guys see that, or is it too bright?
Yeah, so this is quick set cement. You could also like just put like rocks in here, you know, I mean, whatever. You just need weight so it doesn't fall off. And unless somebody's super tall, they're not gonna see the top of it anyways.
All right, we're going in with the clock.
I mean, you can get real creative. You could hot glue some rocks in there. So that way they're stuck in there and not coming out. Plaster of Paris. You could probably put plaster in there with that. That'd be heavy if you put rocks and plaster.
So we were going to do resin, but then I was like, you got rubber bands to hold these on, and then we're going to have to paint them. Because when you do something round like this, if you demold the resin pretty quickly, you can just throw it on there while it's still flexible. And then I would like hair tie it or rubber band it around something like this. You could use painter's tape, hold it on. But while it's drying, it needs to have something hold it, or else it wants to open
needs
up
resistance.
and go flat.
Whereas the clay is easier molded. Does that look centered? Sorry, the last one wasn't as good.
Yeah, that's fine.
I like the resin though, because once it is dry, it's easier to work with because you got to be gentle with this clay. It takes a while to dry.
We could let these dry, but you know how we do. We like to show you how to mold them, and then we
right. We'll heat gun it a little to build a crust on the clay, and before we paint them. Actually, I can do that now. Let me go grab that.
You gonna heat gun them?
Yeah, we're making stocking holders. It takes us all, people are like, oh, you're putting up your Christmas. I'm like, listen, it takes me all month to craft enough stuff for Christmas.
So I'm just using my finger to kind of cut around the edge with the micro rim on here. It makes it really easy to make sure you don't have excess little detail that you don't want hanging off the edge of the mold.
Oh, hey, Jane. Oh, Jane, the 6-bell thing clusters are back in stock. They should be delivered today, and we're shipping them out. And I ordered 24. And I think we've only sold a couple since I put them back on the website. So I'm glad you're here so I can tell you they're there. I ordered a bunch because I want some for my tree.
I was talking about using the micro rim, and then I didn't use it enough. I got excess.
So all I'm doing, this is not going to dry the clay all the way. We're just getting a little bit of crust on it so the clay will hold its definition before I paint it.
All right, I'm going to do this one again. I didn't like it.
Make sure that, especially when you're going around the cylindrical surface, that you put enough glue all around the edge.
If the mold comes out and you don't like the way it looks, or it doesn't have the detail you want because you mushed it weird with your fingers, just throw it in there again.
Yeah, you could totally use, and we will have decoupage papers on this because this center part here will be empty. So we'll use the little Christmas decoupage paper on this one. And we still need to finish all of our ornaments that we started the other day too.
Yeah. Mostly just seal them and finish painting them in a couple
But we need
spots.
to just make a few extras. And then, do you guys remember last year we used jar lids, and we put molds on them, and we made ornaments. I've still got those somewhere in the basement, so I'll get those out. It is a little bit of investment to buy the IOD molds, but once you have them, you can do so many things with them.
Well, we haven't worn a mold out yet, and we've been doing lots and lots of projects with these molds for several years. Some of them are 3, 4, 5 years old, and they've actually changed to a better rubber. But even the old rubber still is holding up.
All right, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to let you keep going and gluing, and I'm just going to work on these two.
Okay.
So I also really like this one from the Lock and Key. The volume of it will balance well with the other ones we use. So
that's a much better, we'll call it a casting. Molding.
Oh, I need a big clap.
I'm going to come around and show you guys and see if you can see this better. There it goes. That's kind of taking the shape of my hand, but we'll flatten it out.
So I like to paint them white first before I put any kind of metallic over the top because it looks better. Can you pass me that white?
Yes.
The golden ticket to me is not as thick as the copper patina, so it might take a couple of coats. You know, it's kind of crooked, Zeb.
What's kind of crooked?
I fixed it. I hit the frame.
Did you touch it again? Did you touch it?
No, I touched it because you made it crooked. All right. The nice thing about the clay paint is I kind of backfill it, so to speak, and cloth it on there. It really kind of holds it in place too. So this is just a base layer, and this clay DIY paint sticks to metal, sticks to plastic, sticks to clay. So it's just kind of a one single use. I'm not painting the top right now, but I will paint the top. You know, it'd be cute too. If you wanted to do something a little bit taller, you could cement in a fake Christmas tree and then just do a ribbon around the can and use that. I wanted something a little bit more simple in design and not tall height-wise, because we have these really pretty sconces already on our fireplace, so I had to keep that in mind for scale. But if you had a more simple mantle and you didn't have sconces, you could go really tall with these.
So I'm just really delicately kind of pushing this down without trying to get too much of the details flattened out.
Gotta be gentle with the mold. And if there's extra adhesive on your can and you don't want to see that, I'm not that worried about it. You could use a heat gun or goof off to get it. And you could also add texture to your can. We've used salt wash before. That's what we did on our utensil can to like texturize it.
All right. I've got 2 more cans. We've done 3.
Yep. The paint really covers this well in one coat, which is surprising considering how shiny it is. Okay. Trying to not get too gloppy on here.
There we go. That's what was wrong. I was like, why doesn't this look straight? It's because I had the 12 and the 6 weren't lined up. Had to rotate it a little bit.
The clay will get cracks in it as it dries, but that's okay because we're going to wind up dark waxing these for an antique gold. Probably not today, but that will fill in any of the cracks nicely.
What about doing like this with a couple keys beside it or something? That'd be weird.
I just want them to all be similar but different, so no.
Similar but different.
You know, not exactly the same, but balanced. That makes sense. I don't know why I painted the screw on this. All right, I gotta move on.
So I have this one that I made. Are you fussing with it?
Well, I'm trying to make sure it's not like dripping because you got to be gentle. That's the thing about painting the clay. You got to be gentle. So you just kind of like schlep it on there. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, that was a lot of paint.
Okay, so I need 2 more on these ones.
I just was so excited for the church. We're going to go over there today. We haven't really done any filming or anything. We're waiting on a bunch of things and they're still kind of moving out. Yesterday we officially got the keys. We probably should have made a post about it, but I still wasn't feeling great, so that didn't happen. Yesterday I got Christmas balls up on the tree and that's about all that I accomplished. they should be out. I was texting her this morning, maybe by like Friday. It's a lot. They've lived there since the 60s. So, and I know the normal buyer-seller relationship, you'd be like, too bad, get out. But you know what? Like, we can live a few more days.
They're really nice and we like them.
They're so nice. And they have like protected this piece of history all these years because there's just not a lot of people around here that have saved buildings. They just tear them down because it's so expensive to restore them. And the land is worth so much that things just get torn down. We had this old general store called Broadbent's. Been here forever.
Been here since the 1800s.
They wound up selling it and they tore it down and turned it into a police station. But part of that was also because the locals weren't shopping there. So it just wasn't advantageous for them to stay open. So I'm hoping we can get the locals out to this church. Luckily, we have a robust online business. So whether the locals come or not, the church will be saved.
Well, if it comes down to it.
We'll live there.
Well, yeah. We got a zone, so we can live there or we can use it as a business.
Either way, it's not coming down. Not on my watch.
Never. People are like, oh, but what about the farmhouse that you just built? I love this house. It's awesome. But I don't know that I can commit to living in one place for that long.
Stop it. We're not even finished with it. Don't you be talking like that. That's like giving birth to a baby and your husband's like, but what about the next kid? Listen.
I never said that to you.
Yeah, because you're smart.
I was never like, all right, you ready for the next one? The day you had the baby.
This is true. That's why you got 5. You might only got 1. Truth be told, I really like kids too. Although I'm at that stage in my life where I'm like, I really like kids, but I also really like to give them back. Maybe that'll change when I'm a grandma, but we're getting some crackling in the paint because I'm using a heat gun. So if you don't want any crackling in your paint, just let it dry naturally. And I put the paint on there kind of thick. Just drying this paint so I can get the gold on there. Ivy said that her husband did, and she was like, shh.
So this one's one of my favorites. It's got so much detail. I'll show you this one. This one is in, this one's in resin. You can see it picking up all that detail.
Way more detail with resin than you're going to get with clay.
Although, I don't know.
I just put one on the can, and it's not, this one's not as nice as that one.
You can mush it?
No, you have a lump in it. I was delicate with it. It's like a delicate flower.
All right. When you're gluing, make sure you get the edges. Getting glue in the center is great, but you want the edges to have glue all the way out.
You don't want it to be hollow, so you push that glue in the center, kind of like when you're tiling.
And I'm just using my finger. You can use like a popsicle stick or whatever.
Or you can use your finger, because you can't lose your finger. Unless you cut it off. But.
This finger is water soluble. This glue is water soluble, so it'll come off my finger.
Your finger is not water soluble.
Your finger's not.
Not how that works. All right. Next. Okay. So if you're just tuning in, I'm going to remind you guys, we are doing a sale on IOD. Everything but the new release items are 20% off until the October 11th, 2021 at midnight or 11:59. So if you haven't stocked up, now it's time. Also,
did you say October or November?
Oh, November. Sorry. November 11th, 2021 at midnight. No code needed. Just hop on to Jamie Ray Vintage under the IOD sale category, and you can see it all. But it is worth mentioning that we are restocking as we're selling out of stuff, like we're reordering. So if you order in the sale, we're normally within 10 business days, but it could extend past that depending on how long it takes for items to get back to us. We didn't want to just sell out and then not be able to offer more, so we've been reordering.
It's so bright when I hold it up. Can you see it? I'll come make it focus.
All right. I'm coming in with the gold.
I think these are going to be really cool once we get those little knobs on there. Are you painting the top too?
Not while the cement's not dry.
I mean, it's
Still,
getting pretty set up.
yeah, but I want the chemical to reaction to.
Yeah, we are going to paint the tops.
Yeah, and this is going to take 2 coats for sure. Do you want it? Are you still going?
I have one more I need to do.
Okay. So we're just putting the golden ticket on here. You could use the copper patina. Like I said, the golden ticket is not as thick as the copper patina, so it takes 2 coats, but I like gold with dark or black wax to give it an antique look. So that's what we're using.
Trying to figure out which one to do. I've done this one twice. I think I'm going to do this one again. I really like it. Let's see. Do we have 2 girls? Do we have 2 of these?
It doesn't matter.
Does it not?
No, they don't even use the same stocking every year. They just use whatever stocking I put their stuff in.
I'm just saying, like, to hang them with.
Yeah, that's fine. You can do that. The boys don't care. They get one with a girl on it too. They were like, "Is there candy in that stocking?" Good. Actually, this year is there Pokemon cards in the stocking? Trying to convince the kids, let's do a vacation instead of buying Christmas stuff. And Jack goes, "No presents at all." And I looked at him. I said, "Jack, what would you even want?" Like, being realistic, because kids have a lot of stuff. I think it's important to talk about that kind of stuff every now and then, because they pretty much have everything they need. And he goes, "Well, maybe some Pokemon cards." And I was like, "You know what? I think we could do that." And that fits in a stocking.
He was very concerned about it.
Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see.
I'm like, Jack, who do you think you're talking to? Your mother's not going to take you on a trip and not get you something for Christmas.
I'm just not going to spend a lot of money on crap they don't need.
It's true. It's true. The whole adage that, play with it for like a couple weeks and then it's either broken or they're bored of it. It's true at our house.
I feel like we've been better in the last few years getting them stuff that they really use. Last year he did get Play-Doh, but Jack's kind of outgrown Play-Doh, so we've given all that away.
Well, and they did get some. So those scooters we got
2 years ago.
2 years ago have been going the distance. They still ride those, although Redrick's kind of outgrowing his.
Yeah. If we don't go on a vacation, I thought about getting those electric ones because then they could use them to go. We live in town, so there are places they could go on them. It'll be fun.
All right, I'm done with the last one. This one's going back.
So this is golden ticket, and this is the.
You know what my parents got me and my brothers one year? It was like my favorite Christmas ever. We had a tree. It was a mulberry tree in the backyard when we were living in California. I was in kindergarten, first grade when we lived in California. And my dad got us, like, we come out and there's like a tool pouch and a hammer and a bunch of nails and there's 2x4s under the tree. We spent all day building a tree house in that mulberry tree, and it was just the right height. I could bomb out of the tree house and onto the trampoline. It was like golden childhood moment. And you know what? Like it took a couple days to get it built, but we had it so that you could like walk around up there by the end of Christmas Day, and it was great. It wasn't like toys or anything. Probably most used Christmas present I've ever got.
We've done a lot of homemade Christmases. Remember the year I got that? I thrifted the doll bed, and it was just the right size for a pillow. So I made a pillowcase for like a mattress, and I bought some cheap tulle. Actually, I had tulle, I think, from making fairy skirts or something. And Odelia used that forever. And then Harrington got a big, because when they're little, it's more about volume, like they don't really care about dollar amount. So these were big toys that cost me like $10. And then I got an organizer.
Waving to my Aunt Becky, she's here saying hi to my parents.
I got an organizer. And then be like, who are you waving at? But necessity is the mother of all invention.
All right, are we ready to show them something up close, or at least first coat?
You can show them this one. Be careful because it's still
I'll show
kind of
them
like
first coat.
sticky. Does that make sense? My fingers keep sticking to the
So
side.
comment below. What's one of your favorite Christmas memories from a kid or adulthood? I want to read them. I love this is one of my favorite times of year. And you know, some people are concerned that we're forgetting Veterans Day and Thanksgiving. We're not. We're still going to honor those. But we do Christmas for a couple months.
I don't have any turkey decorations.
No turkey decorations.
And I did fall for 2 months already. So.
All right, so this is one coat of the golden ticket. So the second coat should go on there pretty nice and thick. And are you wanting to do decoupage paper in here? Do I need to find some of that Santa Claus
you can do that if you want to.
decoupage paper?
Let me second coat the frame and then
paint the top. This is still, I mean, it's dry to the touch, right? But it would probably absorb the paint. So we'll wait for this to dry all the way. Then we're going to paint this white. And
will these still screw on there? I think they will because of just make sure that I haven't.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, the screw will cut that right off.
Let me second coat the frame. And then you can go ahead and decoupage the middle because I can always paint the outside later.
Okay. I'm going to go grab some. You want the Santa Claus one?
What? Yeah,
Paper?
the Santa Claus paper is what I want. So if you guys are new here, we actually have a line of decoupage paper that Zeb and I designed. And so we were super excited to come out with the Christmas papers. We didn't have the dimensions on this frame. So we picked a bunch of different sizes of Santas because we knew this frame was coming out. And
this has been our most popular one. We also have a Stags if you're more into like a, I don't know, I would say it's like an upscale paper. We've had a couple of our retailers that are actually painting the Stag one because it's black and white, and they've made it look amazing.
So I'm not sure there's all different sizes of some of the Santas. I think this one is just perfect for.
These ones here in the middle are just about the right size for these cameos. Also, what I've done is I've taken just like a little piece of it and put that where I want it on the mold.
Yeah, if we are sold out, you can always check back to IOD is ordering constantly. But some of the things are selling out on IOD side, so then we can't order them.
Yeah, once they're out, then we're like, oh, gotta shut that off. Because when they run out, it takes a few months to get it back. Usually. They usually get it back, but right now it's taking a while. My dad was telling me, he's like, you know, a lot of stuff comes from China that we have, but they're struggling too. They have a lot of coal burning power plants, and they can only run them about 3 days a week because of the demand on the factories. And so they're not even running all the time.
So let this cool a little bit because it's tacky still. And like I said, as this dries, the paint will settle down into the clay. And once we either wax it or use dark and decrepit on it, it'll really bring out all the detail on here. Okay. So I'm going to second coat this one.
All right, I'm going to go get some liquid patina.
We'll try to get 1 or 2 like pretty well done so that way you guys can see them. It's only 10:30. So we got 30 minutes. You guys can come sit down. It's okay, Mom and Dad. You don't have to stand and lurk in the window. We have a window into our mudroom. They're making faces at us.
Oh, I was over here getting liquid patina.
This keeps wanting to pop up on the side, so I'm going to push it down. All right, that's good.
Did you grab all the brushes? Never mind. I got one of these.
What, sweetie? I got another brush right here. I grabbed you one. So you don't have to use DIY's liquid patina to decoupage, but it is the Cadillac of decoupaging mediums. You could also use like top coat or big top. It just doesn't work as well. Liquid patina is thicker, it has a longer open time, and it's less likely to rip, and it doesn't look plasticky when it dries. Like I used to use Mod Podge back in the day, and I was skeptical that this was going to be better, but it is. It is. Are you guys going to the store? All right. Good luck. May the force be with you, God. He just wants to go dig through all those toolboxes and see what he can find.
There's some good stuff in the toolboxes that they left in the garage for us.
Dad's headed over to the church. We got to come up with a name for it, though, because we also have the church that we go to church at that's in close proximity to the church that we bought. And so we'll say it's at the church, and people are like, which church? Which church might you be referring to? We spent quite a bit of time in both buildings.
Okay. All right, so I've got these cut off. I think I'm going to use this little Santa guy here. He's perfect for this
My paint is steaming.
Got that hot.
It's not recommended to heat gun it, especially the patinas.
I'll bet as that transfers through the can, it makes this cure up quick too.
That's right. The patina has a built-in top coat in it, so it's not your best option because it will get kind of sticky, like a top coat would be if you got it really hot. But we're live, so it is what it is. Do you want to show them? Did you show them that can up close?
Not yet.
Okay. You might want to do it because I think we're gonna turn this into a short video too. So it gives you something to clip out. We've been doing that. We've been taking our lives. Like last week, we took the live and Zeb turned it into a short because not everybody can commit to a whole hour of junk making overing. Y'all are here, so you're hardcore.
All right, so this has got 2 coats. The can, we'll come back and do more coats, but because of the live stream, we're going to go over the top here. You can see my little Santa. He's going to sit right there on my like that.
I think there's some white paint, not quite dry here. See, it's getting there. It's getting real classy. It's the classiest tin can makeover ever. My sister Karen called me. She was so excited to tell me that she found by the ditch or something, she found an old watering can. And she put something inside of it. I was listening, but the kids were yelling, so I don't remember what it was. But she was so excited that she had made it over. I was like, I'm so proud of you.
All right, just a little bit of dab of this. It's a very small area.
Oh, I probably should keep that in the direction
Of the mic.
of the mic. Sorry. It's junk with a Q.
Junk with a Q.
This is quick.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if it's Quikrete. Let me see. I have heat gunned now the receipt. Hope my tax guy doesn't matter. My tax guy is also Ivy's husband. It's Sakrete. Sakrete. Fast set concrete is what we used, and it was $5.48 for 50 pounds.
Same as the Quikrete, pretty much.
Yeah. Like I said, you could probably get away with plaster in here. Just anything heavy. Put some rocks and some plaster. Hot glue rocks in there.
All right, I got a couple little wrinkles on here because it's rounded, but I'm okay with that.
It's all right. It'll pick up it'll look like an old crinkly artwork. That looks good. That's so cute. Like in my mind this worked, but it's not like I practiced this off camera, so just never know. I'll heat gun that if you want to get the, do we want to use dark and decrepit?
Or let it sit for just a minute.
Okay. But like, because we want dark blacks or dark and decrepit? I need to put more golden ticket on it.
Yeah, it needs more golden ticket around the sides.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead and do that while that decoupage is drying. This one doesn't need decoupage. Let me show
Careful, be so soft.
With what?
It's
hot.
It's hot. The golden ticket is hot. Oops.
All right, she's starting to look fancy.
And I was thinking we have the gold wax. So if it gets a little dull when we put the dark on there, we could just highlight and dry brush gold wax.
Oh, you're right.
On.
It is a little tacky because you got it hot. Hit me right there.
Texture.
It stuck to my finger.
You're adding texture.
I've got glue and paper clay all over my fingers.
All right, leave that one alone and let's paint these. Oh, you got to move this up. She's got to go higher.
It slid down. No, it doesn't. It's going to be perfectly centered.
Well, this one is higher, so you do you. Do what you want.
It might not slide. It's been sitting here a minute. Oh, it's sliding a little bit.
Do whatever you want. But do what I say.
I do what I want all the time.
I know. It's like people tell me I'm bossy. I'm like, listen, ain't nobody bossing Zeb Ray around. At the end of the day, if he really wants something, I don't even mess with him. But he's only really serious about certain things, and there's other things he just doesn't care.
Although she always gets nervous when I have to take one of the cars into the dealership for service. She's like, okay, repeat after me. Do not come back with a new car. It's hard. It's hard to do.
Hey, I got a pool this year because you got a car, so whatever. It works.
All right, I think that's good and ready.
All right, so this one I'm going to dry here, and then we'll be ready. Are we going to...
Let's let it cool off before we handle it too much, and then I'll put a knob on it so they can get the full effect.
Are we going to use dark wax, or are we going to use dark and decrepit and rub it back? I think
dark wax, just real faint on there. That's like real light.
I was thinking dark and decrepit because you don't have to rub so hard to wipe it back. And this has a built-in sealer in it, so it shouldn't get too dirty looking.
With dark wax, your friend.
Well, the thing is, this is still soft. You won't be able to push it.
Let it cool for a minute.
The clay, George. All right. I feel like this is drying my hair too. It was wet when we started.
Are you look at comments in a minute?
I will. Sorry.
All right, I'm getting this screwed on here. Apparently, we're going to dark wax this. I think. Quick, get it. Don't drop that heat gun.
It just landed on my sweater. Better my sweater than the floor.
All right.
It's getting sweaty in here.
So I think we can dark wax or dark and decrepit this with the knob on here just fine.
I'm dark and decrepiting it.
Okay. I think that turned out pretty fun for an old pear can.
The question is, okay, secret about dark and decrepit. It is water soluble. So when you get to the end and there's like that chunky stuff down the bottom that's kind of solidified, you can add water and stretch it. Not a lot of water, but you can get more use out of it. Regular stain you can't do that with.
All right, are you ready to do that over here?
Well, do you want to do it? Because I was going to heat gun this.
You keep heat gun and I'll darken and decrepit.
The Santa one is good to go.
All right, I'm going to do these two. I got to be careful with the Santa one not to get it on the actual decoupage. Whoa, this brush is pretty crusty that you brought me. That's not going to work.
That's not going to work. Do you want to use this one?
Yeah, I might wash that one out.
Okay. I need to get more of those. They work well for smaller projects. We have some of those cheap artist brushes too. Yes, on the website there should be a picture that has the different colors. I know for Sweet Pickins there is. For DIY, maybe not, because they don't have quite the pictures of all the colors together that DIY does, or Sweet Pickins does, but it might. If Caitlin was on here, she'd know, but she's not there. Says Caitlin, any ideas on a name? Caitlin, it's Ivy on here today. Let's see.
On a name for what?
I don't know.
The church.
Oh, the church.
Oh.
I just don't know. It's the North Branch Meeting House if you want to Google it. But I think that's a mouthful. We could just call it the Ye Old Church. Yeah, I was going to say the old church, but my mother-in-law says Ye Old Church. That's still also a mouthful. So we'll come up with something. Like we call this the farmhouse. Jana says she loves that. It's gorgeous. Leslie says vintage meeting house. Definitely antique.
Yes.
It's an old situation. We're like, we're going to the old situation. Oh, man.
We're trying to shorten it up here.
It's the church.
I think eventually, once we get it open for the shop,
it'll tell me its name. Or
just,
maybe one of the spirits in it will tell me what to call it.
It'll just be Jamie Ray Vintage.
Yeah, it'll be the shop.
Yep.
Right now we call it the church because we'll just call it the church shop.
We also have a shop.
Because we also have a shop. But once we move, it will just be we're going to the shop. We'll probably still say we're going to the church, though.
Okay, now I got to wipe this back.
The church was built in 1894. Oh, Sanctuary. Well, see, my friend has a store called Sanctuary for the Vintage Soul. So I don't want to steal her name by saying Sanctuary. Otherwise, I totally would. But it was built in 1894. The addition was built in 1917. And there's actually a third edition where they like trunked up some plumbing for the washer and dryer and a bathroom. And I'm not sure when that one was built. The House of Ray. I feel like that doesn't quite cover it too because it was the Lamb house. Are you wiping it back? Is it too?
Yeah, it went quick. It dried fast because it was like.
We'll dry brush gold over the top.
Okay, that's a good idea.
So let it dry, and then we'll dry brush it.
Okay.
Because it was warm, probably.
All right, this step here. Yeah, it is. It's still warm for me.
So it's making the dark and decrepit.
So it made the dark and decrepit dry pretty.
Oh, but it does look good.
Yeah, it picked up all the detail pretty well.
So we'll go ahead and let that dry, and then maybe we'll just hit it. Or you could actually just add an extra step to it. You could just use the gold gilding wax over the top of it.
Oh. I might just hit it over the top of the cameo mold there.
With like a stencil brush. How many DIY products can we use on one tin can? Little live experimentation.
You know, if you've got them, you may as well use them.
This is true. And we have all of them. It's really why I sell stuff. You think it's because I want you to buy it, which is also true. We enjoy when you shop because that helps us make more content and buy old buildings and such. But I also sell it because I want all of it and I can't justify it otherwise. But now I'm like, well, I got market research. I got to use it. So I got to own it. This can has a little bit of a dent in the back, but my father-in-law said that was okay because it's on the back, which I agree.
All right, so we've got the golden ticket, which is liquid, and then we've got golden rule, which is wax.
We got all the gold situations happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you can totally use the copper patina on these, but they're going to go by. We'll show you. We'll get it dry enough that we can put one up on our mantle so you guys can see it. And because we have pretty shiny copper candlesticks that I got in France, I just didn't want it to clash.
So this is working well. It's not getting rid of all the dark and decrepit and covering that up, but it's bringing back the details that the dark and decrepit was kind of hiding a little bit.
Always check as it dries. It was trying to come undone there. All right.
Sliding down.
No, it was like curling out flat. It's okay. So the way that we got the knob on there is there's cement in the can. So you guys might just be joining, but we drilled a hole in here and my father-in-law put a nut on each side to hold the bolt on. And we made sure it was the right size bolt. And these are just antique like knobs that I picked up at a secondhand store when I was in Pennsylvania. And he took the knob with him to the hardware store to make sure these were the right screws. And then before he poured the cement in, he secured the screws, then poured the cement. And so now these are permanently in there and it gives us a place to screw the knob on. And like I said, if you just wanted putting rocks or something in here to make it heavy, you could totally just, the nut on each side would definitely hold it in place for this situation. There's a few different, there's more than one way to accomplish a task.
Scottish name for a church is Kirk.
A Kirk.
I like it.
JRB parish. If you guys are watching on Facebook, if you guys can share this video out, it helps us a ton. But if you're not, even if you just like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all those things, super helpful to our channel. Helps us grow. The more you interact with it, the more the algorithm says, hey, people like her. They really do. Maybe more people will like her. Facebook algorithm likes it when people don't like it and start getting controversial about us painting antiques, and they like to share those videos out. But
yeah, we name things differently over there. Over here, it's like farmhouse decor, how to.
On Facebook,
over there, it's like
we're painting a family
heirloom. We painted family heirlooms.
Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I'm not ashamed. I'm just getting these other ones further along because we got a lot to do today. And I want to actually get these actually finished today. Actually done. Oh, it's 10:50. We got 10 minutes. So if you're just tuning in, you can buy these products at JamieRayVintage.com. You can also buy home decor and antiques there and clothes. I'm wearing some joggers today. Shameless plug that we carry. They're soft. They have pockets. I put my hands in them, but there's paint on them. You can also get this shirt, my situation shirt. It applies to all situations. Find myself in situations daily. That was a little JRB commercial there.
It was a good one.
I do what I can. This one with the clock will probably be Harrington's. I like it. Let me see with the wax over the top.
That one has wax over the top.
Well, that's good. I might come back with even some white wax later to oxidize it a little, but not today. I'm getting my hair in the paint. Oh, life. Good morning, Colored Caboose. And Lori says, oh, we're live. Lori, we are live. You'll have to catch the replay. We're making, we're almost done making some stocking holders. We stay on about an hour.
There we go. That's dry. I'm going to put a little bit more gold wax because I got a little dark with the dark and decrepit hair.
And if you didn't have the dark and decrepit, like if you didn't have the gold wax, you could just dry brush golden ticket over the top too. I find that with faux finishes, you just have to layer a lot of stuff on until you like it. Like I said, I will probably come back and oxidize this a little bit. Faux oxidize it with white wax and maybe some more dark and stuff. But you can't really push super hard on the mold till it dries.
I feel like the brass really, like on these knobs, is really complementing
the
golden ticket.
Yeah, it looks good. You want to show them what it looks like on the mantle?
Yes. We'll see if I can get the camera over there, but I will go put a couple of these over there.
We're going to show you. And I think there might even be a stocking sitting on that chair.
There is a stocking sitting on the
I
chair.
tested out the situation today for checking for design balance before I got started because I've started many projects I thought were going to look good and the balance was off. So,
all right, let me get it all set up. And then
I'm not like an actual designer where I can eyeball stuff. I have to like see it. Oh, those are cute. All right, he's going to show you. We do have a few more of these grain sack stockings on the website too.
You're going to get in the shot for a second.
That's okay. She's got her makeup and her hair did. She put her curlers on this morning.
This is my cute mom.
She's the reason he can carry a tune.
She is the reason. Well, my dad sings for you too.
Mm-hmm. But she sang to you a lot.
All right, so that's as close as I can zoom in without disconnecting the whole situation. And
you can see it. You know what, Zeb? Can you turn it just slightly sideways so they can see the front of the can? But they kind of get the idea.
And I'll pan down so they can see.
I think it'd be so cute to put some greenery in between it. They're not overwhelming. And like I said, we've got these light fixtures and this mirror already on our mantle that are permanent. So I had to really find something that wouldn't overpower that. And so this is the idea I came up with. There you go. What do you guys think? Everybody says hi, Zeb's mom. So number 10 can stocking holders. Ta-da! And we have pear cobbler because I had to empty the can. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, that gives you kind of a view of the whole mantle situation.
And if we weren't live, we really could knock these out in about an hour with not including drive time. So I love projects like this. You just come back, you set it up wherever your workspace is, and work on it a little, go do some other work, come back, go back and forth. And they will, once we get our ornaments on the tree that are using the same molds, I think it'll kind of tie it all together. We've just got our mercury glass balls on there so far. It takes me a minute. We put the tree up last week, one ornament this week, one ornament next week. It'll happen eventually. All right, guys, thanks for watching us today. Again, you can go to JamieRayVintage.com for the paint and products. We have the grain sack stockings. We even have, I think, some mercury balls left on the website.
Yeah.
And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Jamie Ray Vintage for more.
DIY.
Love you guys. Thanks for joining Waste Not Wednesday. Oh, I forgot I got to end it here.